Welcome to 3D Learning Art, Video 6. Well, what have you learned? How was your discussion with those 3 levels of questions? Probably a big challenge. But if you do it as a group, or if you do it as a, not an individual, and you use the formula, you will get better. Does the formula help you? Most of the time it's a challenge, and if you practice doing it, and that's why you have like lots of questions, you have level 1, 2, and 3, and if you use that formula, you can easily do it. Because the debate is like giving it out, adding information, and then you have to stop after 3 minutes. And it's really hard. So you want to use that formula to keep your information short and precise and focused. As we look at the Nazi story, we look at a graphic. Now, there will be 3 graphics in this booklet, and they're all a little different. In this first graphic, you want to make statements about main topic that you chose earlier. So now you already wrote, it's in your notebook, it's in your booklet, and the first graphic, you want to make statements. You don't want to ask questions, you just want to make statements, and every person in your team should have a statement. Now, there is one in the book, and you want to make sure you have 1 per team. I think in the book there are 3, and if you have 4 more, you should have 1 per team. For that, add 2 if you have 5. You can change them. If you don't like them, if you say, I don't understand, I need to make this different, make a statement, okay? A statement is very precise. It has a few more words. It can be a longer statement. It can be a shorter statement. I think the third statement is shorter. The first one may be longer. So follow these samples. If you have more, create 1 or 2 more, depending on the size of your team. This is important because, though you are a team, the debate will be individual arguments. So you each need to have a separate piece of the argument. You have to cut the argument into pieces. And so it's like, in English we would say different facets, different angles to the same argument. You have your statement, and you're making 5 different arguments. 5. And it's in a circle. So the first one is maybe not a circle. But that's what you're doing. You're creating arguments, linear arguments, bang, 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 and then you have a rebuttal. So you want somebody to argue back, and you want to write. And we did that before. So it's easy. The only difference is your statements, if you follow the book statements and don't make your own, then your rebuttal has to be changed a little bit to match how you would argue back. But if you did your paragraphs already, then it's easy to go back to your notes, find the points, and make the rebuttal. It's not hard. You've already done it. You just have to change it to fit what you have here or how you're going to change it. It's not hard. It's important because coordination of all the information. Remember, we have this umbrella, and we make it bigger, and we have all this information. Then we have categories. We had 4 categories. You made 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you have all that information into categories. You have your paragraphs. You have your rebuttals. You have all this information, and you have to coordinate it so that it's all saying the same thing for your side of the argument. So it's crucial for this final goal. And information is always changeable. The information you have, what you do today, you can change tomorrow. You might have a discussion with another person on your team or your teacher, and you come up with some different ideas. Information is always changeable. Don't think it is not changeable. Even from your beginning, you have your paragraphs, and those are just ideas to get you moving in the right direction. And as you go down the road, that information maybe has to change because of what is presented to you is not exactly the same. It's a little bit different, and so you take that information. You don't have to think about new information. You just have to change how to respond. So that's what we want to do. So here's a question. If this is changeable, who owns looted art from World War II? That's a good question. How would you answer that? Well, you might start with families that lost art, treasures like art. Finish the sentence. It's like a 3, bang, bang, bang. Okay? Bang, bang, bang. That's what's there. Families that lost treasures like art. Make your statement. Add 3 plus 2 plus 1. The same formula, just different questions. The formula doesn't change. So looted art is one of the key ideas. That's a really core, it's central. And it's a general idea to use for discussion. If it's like specific art, then maybe it's too narrow for a good discussion. If you say World War II, well, there are too many things in World War II, and so that's too big. So looted art is a very small piece of World War II. There are many pieces of art, not only paintings, but also artifacts. It's still art. So it's one of the key ideas, and it's general enough, it's big enough so that you can have a good discussion. Understanding the limitations of looted art and how it affects generations, and how changing ownership may or may not enhance the quality of life. Those are just some ideas. When developing your argument, ideas have to transcend time, as the idea may be the same, but the object may have changed. Transcend means it has to be timeless. So it can't be just, the argument is focused on this story, but the story is just one story. There's lots of looted art. So it has to transcend time and not focus on certain things that don't change. It has to be changeable. Transcend, timeless. Transcend time is to be timeless. The object, maybe that's not a painting today. Maybe it's a piece of pottery. Maybe it's a piece of cloth. Maybe it's a skull somebody dug up from somewhere, or some coins, and it was stolen. So the ideas are timeless, but the argument is the same. So look for common elements. Make a graphic to help this process. And in the book there is a graphic, the first graphic. A sample has been started. Fill the rest in as a team works on this topic. And like I said, information is changeable. If you don't like what's in the book, it's a first argument, make different statements. Each team person should have a separate topic and develop their graph. So you have a team. If you have a team, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If 3 are done in the book, or write your own. Each person should have a box. The first box should be one person. In the first row, you find key talking points. These are key statements. These are opening ideas. This is what you want to focus on. And from what focus point you want to build and fill your umbrella. This defines the core point and allows for the explanation of the idea. You have the core point. Now you are opening it with what? This is 1. Now you have 5. 5 ideas about this one. You can't see the 5 if you do it this way, but you can see 5 this way. And that's what you want to do. And this answers the question, who has the right to looted art? Who has the right to looted art? That's the question. 5 discussion points to answer that question. It's a little bit abstract, it's a little bit difficult, but you have all the information already. And so you just take that information and you put it in there. In the second row, the opposing team will state their point as against. So you make that statement and you're going to add 3 plus 2, and they are going to rebut. They are going to oppose you. Making points in opposition is sometimes easy, sometimes hard. It's a big challenge, but that's what you want to do. So work as a team. Your team should put together the arguments you think the other people will do in opposition. Create your opposing side. Work together. In the third row, the first team will argue against what the opposition says. You have research. You have already paragraphs with rebuttals. Use your research. Your research will be really important here, because if you can't challenge, if you can't come back again, then you will lose the argument. So you want to add more support from your research. Small points. Don't get excited. Small points that you can build on, and do it at least the second time. Now that's a lot of work. I know that's a lot of work. Make a similar graph on a blank sheet of paper, assigning one team member to each point. So what's in the book is in the book, but on a small piece of paper, on another piece of paper, make it out. Make the graph large enough to make every member. In the book you have 3 because there's no space for 5. And this is the first point to work with. The first graph, there should be at least one major point for each team to manage. So, you have 3 ideas. What is your major point? You have the statement, make a point. Build from that point. A team is defined as more than one person, so it will depend on the size of the debate group. If you have only 2 or 3, that's great. If you have 5, everybody should have a different point. Everybody should be able to build from that point, and you'll find that as your umbrella opens and you see this information all connected, you know, an umbrella that's not connected, can you imagine an umbrella it doesn't work very well. It needs to be connected. So all your arguments start to be connected. This is your statement, this is your rebuttal. This is your statement, this is your rebuttal. These are all connected to one central idea. So writing out your discussion graph gets you a better view and gives precise directions. The idea of a graph is not to write a story, but to write things very short and precise, so that it's very easy to review, and when you have all your notes in your debate, it will be there. Researching material efficient, which is the key to regrouping in the debate itself. Keep your research notes short. Just like in your outline that you made, keep short notes so you can easily find it when you need it. That's number one. Material efficient is what research is all about. And that will make you win your argument. And that's what we want to do. So here it is. This is in the book. Art treasure should be returned to their original owner family. Looted art, that's one. How would you add information? Add 3 and the rebuttal, the team B, the respond. How would you respond that it shouldn't? Art treasure should not be returned. How would you build your argument? Sometimes the negative is easier than the positive. Number 2, treasures from any country or family purchased without due processing is wrong. They should just stop selling this. They should ban it. Is that possible? You have the black market. You understand black market. Profit or right to show is more important than the right of the original owner. University of Oklahoma, they bought it at a sale. Nobody claimed it. And so they have the right to show it. Why would they want to give it back? What is your argument? At the purple there, Team A refutes the response and adds a new point. You refute and you add 3 more sentences or more. So that's what you want to practice. You want to practice. Put it on paper. Use your notes. Use your research. That's what you did before. Well, that's the end of our time with number 6, video 6. I hope to see you for video 7, and we'll continue having more fun. Thank you.